Okay, so you know what we're making today, but what we're going to do first, so we can kind of see our light beams slightly better. This is a nice suggestion, but if you just go to lighting, so you just kind of click it, and then you just go down to time of day and set it to 21. Now it's night with the moon shining. Now that you got that out of the way, what we're going to do is we are going to insert a part. So here's our part right here. And yeah. But what we're going to do next is we are going to go inside the part and insert or search up beam after clicking the little plus. And now we have a beam, but nothing shows up. Do you know why? It's because we require something called attachments. So what we're going to do is we are going to insert 2 attachments. What the attachments do is they allow something for the beam to connect together. Most constraints, which I think a beam is a constraint, but right here, constraints, they all usually require attachments. But now, since we have 2 attachments, we have one more thing to do, which is move one of them a little far away from our part. And now, alright, so if I just select both of them, you can see they're kind of far away from each other. And I'll show you why in a second. But I'm also going to do is I'm just going to move it like right there, so it shines directly off our light block. To make this look like a light block, I'm just going to set the material style to neon. And what we're going to do now is we're going into our beam properties. And what we're going to do is, why it won't show up is because we need to, again, set up our attachments. So you can just click one of them for attachment 0. And then for the next one, you just click the other attachment. And as you can see, look at our beam. We have a beam here now. But the issue is it doesn't look like a normal beam that I showed in the intro. Do you know why though? So basically, we need an ID for it. But first, before we go any further, we need to make it so it faces the camera. So you just click face camera and make sure it's true. As you can see, whenever I hover around it, it shows up and faces our camera. Well, of course, unless you go right here, but that does not matter. So what we're gonna do now is we need a texture. What we're going to do now is I have a texture listed in the description. That's actually pretty nice and I use it personally a lot. But I'm just going to copy it real quick and put it in here. So now you see, what is this? This isn't a beam. It's basically because there's something called texture speed, which controls how fast or slow a texture goes. We're just going to set this to 0. Okay. Now that that's done, all we're going to do is just quickly set our width 0 to 0.1. Oop. Right, keep that one at 1. I have to change the other one, so depending on it, you just have to make the width over here shorter than the other. And then just set the other one to that. As you can see, you know, it shows up like that. And yeah. Now if you want to make it invisible, you can do this, you know, set a transparency for it. You can also change the texture mode. Now sometimes you may have to adjust some settings on this. Like, you might have to move the attachments. See? And it'll keep showing up. It does take a little bit of playing around with to like get it perfect. But other than that, pretty simple. But now we need to make it curve. How we're going to make it curve is we're going to go back into our beam. we are going to set our segments to 100. So it gives it a little more segments. And I believe the higher you set this, it'll make the texture look slightly better. Not very much better, but other than that, it can make your texture look a little better. Of course, it just takes some work, but anyways, this is the end of today's video. I do hope this helps. Remember, the texture is in the description. And if it did help you, and you have someone that could use this tutorial, you can just share it to them if you want. But anyways, goodbye.